In this easy Procreate tutorial, I will show you how to draw this mountain landscape step by step. Before we begin, you can download the brush set and color palette we will use via the link in the video description. And if you are ready, let's grab our pencils and get started. I've just created a new canvas that has the dimension set to 2K by 2.5K pixels. During this video, we will try various shading brushes, both textured and smooth. Most of them will be brushes that already come with Procreate app. I also added this one to the tutorial bundle that I named Textured Paint. And since it is a beginner tutorial, the set has a couple of stamps that will allow us to finish the drawing twice faster. You can download them along with this color palette below the video. If you like my free brushes and tutorials, you may also want to check out my Patreon page for more exclusive content. It contains hundreds of premium brushes and in-depth Procreate tutorials. The link to my Patreon account is also in the video description. Without further ado, let's proceed to painting. I'm going to grab color 13 from the palette, then technical pen from inking, and draw a curve for the foreground. It'll have this deepening in the middle. We can drag the color inside it, and it will be filled. Now let's add one more layer and drag it down. Here we will draw a mountain. I shared some mountain landscape tutorials in different styles both on YouTube and Patreon. In this one, we will draw two large mountains and a tiny one on the left. For the first mountain shape, let me select color 5. We can just make sort of a curved triangle with the sides that are almost symmetrical. Like this. Then connect the outlines under this dark area and drag and drop the color right from here. Now to add the dark side of the mountain, we should create another layer and clip it, so every new stroke will stay within the shape. Now let me select color 4 and I will draw a curve here. Close the outlines and fill. Alright, we have these two sides. What's next? A little texture won't hurt. But before that, I want to draw a couple of darker shapes inside this one. So I'm changing the color into 6, creating a new layer, and going to pick Selection tool. It is set to freehand, and color fill is on. Let me outline the first one close to the edge, and then one more at some distance. Now that we did it, it's time to add some texture. Let's try this one from the new set. Its opacity and size are at maximum, and we can create a new layer right here. But even if we clip it and try to make a stroke, it may affect the pink color. To avoid it, first go to the layer with the fourth color, call this menu, and pick Select. Then remove Color Fill. If it doesn't work properly, just switch to Automatic and adjust Selection Threshold. After that, we need to go to the new layer with the clipping mask, where we can now paint. Let's make a few brush strokes on this side. It will go from the peak of the mountain a little downwards. We can also try to make a stroke going up from the bottom. For example, here. Now let's go to inking and select stylized brush. We can set the size to around 10% and add a stroke somewhere here, going down from the peak, and maybe also on the side. I will lower the brush size a little bit and just paint like this. Now we can create a layer between these two, and it will be clipped right away. I want to add some other texture, so I will change the color into number 5 now. Go to Materials and use Noise Brush. It used to be in touch-ups section, but now it has moved. Before using it, let me duplicate the brush and go inside it to adjust one setting. It will be in grain source. I will just increase the scale and set it to 54%. As you see, it looks slightly different, maybe a little bit more scattered. We need to get selection active again. Then go to the new layer. It is also set to full opacity and size. And I will start applying it here, on the right edge, but with low pressure, like this. Now that the left side is ready, let's work on the right one. It will be much easier. So we need to go to the base layer, add a layer with a clipping mask, and then select color number 7. First I will apply it with a soft brush. We can set the size to 13% and paint on the left to darken it a little bit. And after we did that, we can add a highlight. So I will grab the next color and our noise brush. It can be now found in recent brushes. I will start painting on the left, like this. On top we can make it even lighter, so I will grab the next color number 9 and paint like this, so it will look more highlighted. Let's go a little bit down, and now it is fine. Let's go ahead and merge all the layers for this mountain, since it is ready. Then I will create one more layer and drag it underneath. I just want to add 2 more mountains on the sides, and they will be a little smaller. It will also have 2 layers. One side will be highlighted and the other one darkened. So we need to select base color first. It will be number 12. Let's now select technical pen again and draw it quickly. Let's draw a mountain shape here and also make it curvy. It will go down to the left side from the peak and then also to the right. We can make some straight lines and then it will go all the way to the edge, like this. Let's now close the selection and fill the shape. So I'm dragging the color and adjusting color drop threshold, so there are no gaps between the lines and the color. Now we can also add it here on the left, behind the big mountain, so it will be slightly visible. Let's also fill this one. Or maybe we can make this one darker, with color number 10. I will just recolor it. Now it looks better. So we have already this color selected, and we can add the dark side on this mountain as well. So let me go ahead and create a layer above this one. Then I will also clip it. I will start from here and draw another curve. That will go down like this. Let's finish the outline and fill this part. It will look like this. Now let's get this layer selected. I will create another one on top of it. Set it to color burn and also change the color to number 11. Let's add this texture. I will start making lines like this. That will follow the shape. I will paint close to the edge. And also here. Just a few strokes. Now we can add one more layer. We can actually clip them both. And this time I will select color dodge. So if we paint in the center, maybe with a smaller size, it'll look lighter. So it'll be a combination of dark and light lines. Like this. Now this part is ready. I will deselect it and go to shade the base color. I will just create a layer on top of it and it'll get clipped straight away. Let's just pick the fifth color from the palette and noise texture. Let's lower the brush size a little bit to like 80% and apply it on the edge with low pressure. We will get this. Then I will switch to stylized, maybe lower the opacity, and just make a stroke somewhere here to make it subtle. Okay, now this is totally ready. I will merge these layers too. And now it's high time to change the background color, I think. So I will tap here. And then in the color palette, select color 1. I think around 50% of the background is ready. We can leave it for now and draw a track for the bicyclist. For that, let's grab color 11, technical pen from Inkin, create a layer above this one, clip it, and make two curves like this. They will start here in the deepening. We just need to connect it here on top. And make sure it is touching the edge of the canvas. Now we can fill it. I will also keep it for now. Go back to this layer. And alpha lock it. Let's switch to color 14 from the palette. And apply it with a soft brush. I will put it on top of the shape to make it lighter. Now we can even select color 11 again and noise brush. Let's lower the size a little. Set it around 57% and highlight the edge. On this side too. Now after we did that, let's go back to this color. Or maybe we can first pick the dark one and apply filtery stamps. For that, I'll create a layer under the ground, adjust the brush size, let me make it smaller, then I will tap on the canvas and move it to the side. I think I will stretch it a little bit up, using freeform transformation. Let me put this one somewhere here. Then I will tap again, outline it, and also transform. First I will move it down. And play around with the size. I think it can be even longer. And go slightly down. Let me tap one last time. We also need to outline it. It's all because they're all on one layer. I will move it down. Maybe we can flip this one horizontal. And then change the size. I will put it like this. Now let me create another layer below this one. I'll make the size bigger and tap again. Let me move it a little bit. I will drag it to the right side. So we can see only half of it. Like this. Now I want to highlight this one, since it is big. First I'll create a layer above it and clip. Let me select color 11 and I want to use selection here. Let's tap here, use it in freehand mode, and color fill is turned on at my end. I will start at the bottom of the pine tree and go up, making these highlights. I am keeping some distance between the branches, so it'll look like they're shaded. Let's paint on top of this one. It may follow the shape. Then go up here. Also connecting it. Then I will work on this one. Also keep some distance between the branches. And go upper. Let me highlight this one. I think I will speed up this part a little bit, but you can pause and continue. On smaller branches I will do it a little bit different. Just outline the edges. Also go to the right. When these are ready, we can alpha lock the layer. Then select color 15 and add noise texture. I will lower the size to around 32% and apply it on the edge. Just like this. When the tree is shaded, we can continue working on the sky. So I will merge these two layers and then create a layer under the mountains. Let's first grab color 2, go from painting and select jagged brush. Its opacity is 91%. And I will try to increase the size. Let me set it to around 10%. Then I will start making strokes like this. It will look like arcs, intersecting each other. Now let's select the next color and apply it on the sides, like this. I will make a few more strokes. Then switch to the previous color and blend them. Let's also select background color and make a stroke on top. So it will be textured too. Now when it's ready, we can add a few clouds. So I will create another layer on top of this one. Select color 8 from the palette and go to selection. It is still in freehand. I will outline a shape like this, consisting of a few curves. It will go up, so the cloud will be rather big. We just need to connect it, and it will be filled. Now we can alpha lock the layer. Select color 7 and apply noise brush. At the size set to around 76%. I will start making strokes going up from the bottom. Let me try to increase the size to make it faster. Now I will just go and lower the opacity of the layer to make it half transparent. I will keep it at 54%. Also, if you like, you can adjust the edges. Just grab a razor, then pick monoline, and make it more smooth. It will look better. Okay. Now I will duplicate the layer, then flip it and move it to the side. I will place it this way. We can rotate it slightly and move up, like this. After that, I will merge these two layers and create one more layer for another row of clouds. But this time I will make them differently. We can go and select color number 8. Let me grab technical pen and draw the first cloud. It will start approximately from the center of the canvas and go to the side like this, with a few curves. A smaller one, and then I will make it bigger. Let me adjust it, and at the bottom I will draw a straight line, like this. If you tap on the canvas, it will go horizontally. Then I will just connect it here and drag the color. We can create one more layer and draw another shape. This time I will start with a straight line. It may go slightly lower. I'm also tapping on the canvas. And then I will add more curves, starting from here, and make it like a wave. Let's also connect it. Adjust the curve slightly and drag the color inside. Let me adjust this one. I will use distortion. Alright. Now we can merge these two layers and set the opacity to none. I will just create one more layer, then go to the previous one and get it selected. I will remove color fill option, go to the new layer and apply the same color using noise brush. The size is at 85%. I will start painting on top. Make a subtle stroke going down, but press more on the top edge. Same here. If we now remove the selection, we will get this. I think it looks quite nice. Now in this empty space, we can add the moon. Or it can be the sun that goes down. So I will grab this light color, number 16. We have new layer. And this time I will be using ellipse selection. We can outline it somewhere here. Then tap on the brush and start painting on top of the selection. I will also press more on the edge, like this. When the shape is ready, we can remove the selection and maybe lower the opacity just a little bit, so it is not so bright. I'll set it to 81%. Now that these shapes are ready, we can add the bicyclist. For that I will create a layer above all layers. Select color 14. Set the size to 18% and tap on the canvas. Now let's click on the arrow and move it. Also adjust the size here and switch to distort. We need to match it with the perspective, so it follows the same angle as the road. Let me drag this point down, and the other one will go up. Let me move it a bit more. And now it is fine. I will remove selection and add a highlight. We can just alpha lock the layer, then grab color 11, go to painting and select one of the coolest default Procreate brushes. It is Nico Rule. I like its texture a lot. We just need to set the opacity to around 42% and size is at around 9%. Let's highlight the head on top by making a few strokes, then also on the backpack. I will press more on the edge and highlight the wheels, just a little bit. For this one I will lower the size a little. Then also make a stroke. When it is ready, we can shade the road as well. Let's just go here, create a layer on top of it, set the layers mode to multiply, and then get this layer selected. Make sure color fill is turned off in the menu. Go back to the layer. We can use Nico Rule here too. Just make the size bigger and start making strokes here. Then lower the size and add the shadows under the bicycle. We can make it even smaller to add more detailed shadows, like this. I will make it a bit wider, and once we did that, we can remove the selection. I will just go back to the base layer, alpha lock it, and highlight the edge. So let me grab color 15 and also switch to noise brush. Let's set the size to 35% and add a subtle highlight here. Because it is exposed to the light. Alright, now this part is also ready. Let's continue working on the background. If we consider it is a late evening, we can see the stars. To add them, I will create a layer on top of this one. Then pick light color number 16. And I want to use my custom star brush. Let me put it in the set as well. So it is selected. And the size is set to 43%. I will make a few strokes here on top, in the empty space. It will be enough. Also, I will go to the layer number 3 with these mountains and create another one above it. We can add some mist or haze to make the mountains look further. For that we need to select color number 8. And in painting, switch to jagged brush. We can set the size to 13%. And I will start making strokes like this, intersecting each other. If you like how it came out, let me just rotate it a little bit. Then I'll duplicate it and drag one of the layers to put it on top of the big mountain. I will just move it and rotate to change its angle. We can also distort it a little bit, so it'll look different. I'll move it up like this. Now when it's done, the drawing is almost ready. We just have some empty space here in the corner, and I want to put a tree here. Let's create a layer for it on top. And select the tree trunk stem from the brush menu. Pick color 14. Make the size 27%. And tap on the canvas. To match it with the corner perfectly, we can click on the arrow. And then in the snapping, enable snapping in the settings. Now we can start moving it. And it'll match perfectly. We only need to draw the crown. Actually, before doing it, let's add a highlight on the trunk. I think we better create a new layer and clip it. Then grab color 11 and also stylized brush from inking. Let me increase the size, let's say to 13%. And opacity is at 77. I will just make a stroke like this. Make it dashed. Then I will grab a eraser, change the brush to soft brush, and just erase it on top. Let me use Liquify, just to match it with the shape, because it goes straight. Now I think it is fine. I'll deselect it, merge these two layers, and create another one for the foliage. We can continue using this color, and even the same brush. It'll work great. I will just set it to full opacity, and lower the size. We can set it to around 8 or 7%. I will start making strokes crisscross, to make it look like hedge. Like this. Move to the right. Let's cover these branches. and continue going to the right. As you see, I'm changing the angle, so it looks different. Let me paint more here, making this hatching. And then I will just paint in the center to make the gaps less visible. It may go a little upper here. And when it is ready, we can also shade it quickly. I will just alpha lock the layer and grab color 14. Let's apply it at the lower side. I will continue doing this. We can paint more here at the lower side. Also in the corner. And after we did that, we can add a highlight too. For that we need to select color 15. I will lower the opacity a little bit and just add a few strokes on the top part. It will also look like hedge. Some of the strokes can be longer, just not too bright. Okay. I think now it is ready. I will make sure I'm on the top layer. And in the end I will do a couple of color adjustments. For that I will copy the canvas first and then paste it. Now we have everything on one layer. I will go to color balance and adjust the colors. Let me add a bit more cyan color and also blue. Also I want to adjust contrast, and for that I'll be using curves. Just make it brighter by sliding to the left. And then add darkness by sliding to the right. Like this. Now it looks more contrasted. You can go even further. Maybe duplicate the layer to save this one. And try to apply gradient map. It'll change the style completely. You can try different ones, or even create your own. I will go back to this version, and at this point, our drawing is complete. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. For more tutorials and brush sets, check out my Patreon page. Thank you so much for watching, and see you soon!